And we're off.
Good morning, coffee moaners. Welcome to Coffee Moaning. If you are new, please subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing except that.
If you're listening on podcast, welcome. I've got beef.
Oh.
With the world today.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I've got beef.
Yes,
he's feeling he's a bit annoying. So that is a trigger warning.
No, I feel really mischievous, but in a kind of, I don't want to be a mollycoddling namby-pamby today.
But you're not a mollycoddling
I'm going in tough on something today.
Oh my God, he's going in tough.
People need to be slapped, tapped and whacked. Okay.
Yeah. I need to message a friend of mine in a minute who's actually taking Ozempic.
Don't get me going on that. So what are we talking about? We're talking about weight loss drugs. New restrictions are being put on weight loss drugs because Kelsoprees, people with eating disorders, are starting to get them and order them. And people with mental health problems, how do they help? You know, all this kind of stuff. So more restrictions are being put on them. But we've put in the title, are weight loss drugs really cheating? Is it a way of losing weight? Is it a cheating way of losing weight?
He thinks it's cheating. Also, more news on the Baldoni Lively saga.
Yeah, we've got
texts.
We've got some actual WhatsApps, and it's really weird. It's a bit like a wormhole. When you start to read one, you can't help but read the next because you feel like you're you feel like you've picked up someone's phone. It's really
we are moving
really
more
weird.
And more into the Johnny Depp. What's the name?
Situation. Oh yeah.
So guys,
Hollywood vampires.
And Hollywood vampires. Wait till you hear that story.
They are sucking blood in the hills of Hollywood.
But first, yesterday we were talking about Bianca Censori and Yeezy, and we got cut off because
Is that his name?
Well, that's what his brand is. That's
what
it
was Ye.
Well, he's Yeezy too, isn't he?
Yeezy
and Ye. I actually read. So we didn't finish that chat, but before we get into that, I just want us to play. You know, Judy Love is one of my very favorite loose women and one of my very favorite women, actually. She's right up there, but she's also bloody funny. She makes me howl with laughter. And Dina was actually a fan of hers before she was even loose woman.
That's right.
She used to watch her on Facebook.
Yeah.
So Dina sent me this last night and said, oh God, just how fucking funny is Judy Love. And
should we just for the
got to play this to the guys?
So we're going to play it. It's about a minute and a half long. Should we, for context, play you what happened at the Grammys? Because
just to remind anyone,
if your head has been buried in a hole with your arse in the air, you might not have seen.
But yeah, Bianca Judy's analysis of it.
So this is the Grammys,
which they weren't invited. They crashed the red carpet.
Oh, hang on. No, this is the unedited version. Oh,
can't show that. Can you?
That was the unpixelated version. Hang on a second. Let's pop Judy in. That's gonna flag up everything, isn't it?
You couldn't really see anything, to be honest.
No, I know. I mean, yeah. Anyway, here's Judy's take on it.
You saw what I saw, what the world saw. We saw everything because, yes, Bianca, Mr. Kanye West's wife, turned up on the red carpet naked. Yes, people want to talk about there was a mesh thing covering her, but it was see-through, brethren. We could see through it. We could see through her soul that something is going on that made you feel it was okay to turn up on the red carpet naked. My question is, I know there is fashion and creativity and art, but where is the line drawn? Where is the boundaries? Like, am I painting you? Is that why you're out here naked? Because that's the only time I'm supposed to see someone naked in public is if I'm painting you. Because right about now, everything is out the window. I mean, 2025 was supposed to be the year of striving, but instead it's the year of being naked. The problem is, now it's circulating. People are saying things like, Bianca, blink 2 times if you're okay. Because if your husband is saying it's okay for you to come out like this, then boy, I don't know. Bianca turned up to the red carpet like a virgin mojito. Do you understand what I'm saying? Nothing in there, naked. Bianca turned up like she was an organic fruit bar. Nothing in there, naked. Bianca turned up there like a skinny latte. No calories in it at all. Completely naked. I know some people like say, oh, she's her own woman and maybe she made her own choice, and that's fine. And yes, she's a beautiful woman and all of that, but does that warrant for us to see the whole of your things? No. As a little children, a little girl picking them that's out there watching this thinking, oh, it's all right for you to do that. Miss said, no. No, Auntie Judy said no. And you know, Kanye might be like, I don't want no one to talk about my wife. Well, I mean, they're gonna talk, okay? Because she turned up on the red carpet naked. And I know red carpet is all about doing something so extravagant that, you know, you're just in all the headlines. How are you gonna beat this next year, Bianca? Bianca, how are you going to beat this? I mean, the conversation between them, the designer, whoever else, the PR people that said, hey, why don't you turn up on a red carpet naked? That's when your partner is supposed to say, hold on, naked? What we have seen demonstrated in this last 24 hours is that none of them in this relationship know when they've gone too far. Yeah, I said what I said.
Oh,
very
she's
funny.
a blood, that brain. I love
very funny.
her brain.
But why she
Follow her
makes
and-
so many valid points, which is a
Let me
great
just
way
say,
to pick it up.
if you want to follow, some people
Yeah.
may not know Judy, it's at Judy Love, the most one. It's a
Yeah.
famous name.
Reese
At
Roberts,
Judy Love.
also Judy being of Jamaican origin, heritage, as am I and many others. She speaks on things in mainstream content as British Afro-Caribbean people. We feel seen.
Oh God,
man.
yeah.
But the point she makes there, which is really key. Now she's gone naked. What is next? Is she going to turn up? And I hate
Maybe
to
we'll
use
see a
these
cervical smear on
labia. Maybe is she going to have a speculum? Is that what it's called?
Maybe we're going to see a cervical smear on the red carpet.
Yeah. And
so we didn't finish talking about what we thought and felt about it yesterday. And actually, I was reading an opinion piece today, and she was posing the question. Yes, as we know, it could be so many different things. I mean, she's now a self-styled performance artist. She calls herself a performance artist now. And as we know, a couple of hours later, the T-shirts went on sale for 20 quid. Is it just a publicity?
Was she on the T-shirt?
Yeezys. I don't know what was on the T-shirt.
Because apparently, a rumor is they weren't invited. They turned up on the red carpet, did their bit, and then
crashed and then got thrown out and went to a party and had a great time, apparently. So, you know, so it's that. It could just be, you know, it's a stunt. And as Judy says, what next? What are you going to do the next time you need to sell a T-shirt? There's a lot around, you know, the feminist side of this, that he's coercively controlling her. There's a lot of sort of lip readers that have said that what he's saying is just go for it. I've got your back. Take off the coat. And then it will cause a scene. So it could be, and as we said yesterday, it could be a sexual thing between them where he likes people to just sort of ogle her.
Well, on that point.
But no, sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, but I'll just finish this. This opinion piece today suggested something quite different, which was, what if she is taking advantage of him in that we know he's not well. He's spoken often about not being well. You know, he has bipolar and he doesn't take his medication. And is this her totally using the short amount of fame that she has with him to do this? I don't buy into that. I don't think that's the situation, but that's what a lot of people are saying now. Is she taking advantage of him? I think that's
kind of complicated because there's been proof and there's been stories about lots of messages that he's allegedly sent to the mothers of partners. He's clearly into all sorts of kinky kind of weird stuff. You know, having sex, the idea of, he hasn't, I'm not saying he has, but he talks about the idea of having sex with the mum of Bianca, and it's all been
really?
There was a moment back there. Yeah. So what's performative shock? What's bipolar manic highs and lows? Let's not forget, he urinated on his Grammy award. Do you remember that when he posted that on Twitter? I mean, the footage of him doing it.
But that is punk, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's like,
that's
rock and roll. It's like,
it is punk if you were part of the punk movement, but he's not part of a punk movement.
No, but I mean, in that punk, it's
rule breaking.
Yeah, it's rule breaking.
I am interested in this idea that she has agency. Are we all really thrown by it? And are we all being a little bit kind of pearl necklace? Sorry to use that analogy. Pearl necklace about the idea.
Clutching our pearls is what you mean.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
not
clutching our pearl necklaces about the idea that maybe she's totally up for this. Yeah. And even if she's not in control, maybe as a couple, they're going out and this is and they're doing their thing.
But when I think back to the way that he's treated Kim, the things that he said publicly, you know, and the love bombing when she didn't want him, you know, in any other situation, it would be called stalking by an ex-lover, you know, sending her truckloads of roses when she doesn't
threatening
want them.
a new lover to chop his head off.
The horrendous video, which I still think, I just can't believe he got away with that, where he was really dissing her boyfriend at the time, and actually did depict him being beheaded.
I wouldn't be at all surprised.
So with all of that,
Yeah.
I tend to lean a bit more towards, was this, you know, this, she came to, you know what, how they know each other. She was his head of architecture at the beginning.
Yeah, she's an architect.
So she's done 7 years at uni studying to be an architect. Now she's all right just walking around in barely theirs.
You're a Kardashian freak.
Well,
I
not
mean,
a freak.
Well, no, but you're an aficionado. I mean, not to the point that you could go on Mastermind, I guess. But has Kim, I mean, I know she's had challenges post her marriage with Kanye, but has she ever sought to bring charges against him or prosecute against him or gone public with any suggestion that he was coercively controlling? Has she ever
She said
that?
a few little things, but she's very kids
Oriented.
conscious. Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
so
but
she may not be saying.
There's been a couple of times when she's really broken down, and look at the things that he's said publicly about her and her family.
Well,
I mean, it's just, he doesn't come out well, but we will never know. But the thing is, if you come out naked on the red carpet, people are going to have a chat and try and work out what's going on. Because when they then say, leave us alone, it's like, well,
I mean, there's an exhibition. Does anyone of the 80s remember the performance artist Lee Bowery? He performed, Lucian Freud painted him. Very, very large, larger than life. You might have remembered him. He hung around with Boy George. He used to wear sort of latex. Very big man in the 80s, 90s. He was always at the Mud Club. Anyway, he was a performance artist, and there's a great big. I've just realised that could be one for Kiki. There's a great big exhibition of his agitprop kind of stuff in the Tate at the moment. The reason I'm saying that is, could she be a performance artist? Could this be, as you said earlier, could this be part of, you know, this idea that the person becomes the art? Do you remember when when Joaquin Phoenix was pretending to be sort of like that kind of hip hop star?
I totally believe in that, and actually I'll get more and more interested in performance art. I really love the idea of it.
Yeah.
I just think with his history it becomes a bit dodgy.
Well, thanks, Judy.
But anyway,
that was absolutely
Judy,
fucking hysterical.
How much did you love that? Do follow Judy on Instagram if you don't already, at Judy Love. And next time her tour is up, make sure you go and see her, because she is all round fantastic. And actually, our lovely Lee often does the warm up for Judy.
What I love about her brain is not only is it fast, but she so reminds me of, there's just a quick, like you said, Reese, there's a quick-witted Jamaican wit that's
which you grew up around.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of unpicks the British formality in just such a brilliant way.
Because Mark's childminder was Jamaican. You actually spent more time with her than you did with your mum,
I
didn't
ate
you?
more Jamaican food than anything else. I kind of couldn't
on bread.
Carnation milk
Doesn't
bread.
work for me.
I had my first avocado, pineapple. What a magical moment that was. But also goat curry. I couldn't do the goat curry. But mind you, I think Tony ended up not telling me it was goat curry. She just said it was chicken. Anyway, I just want to play this because it made me chuckle. We shouldn't laugh at this, but does anyone remember bad lip reading?
Guys, this is when the villagers feed the king. I'm gonna do something funny tonight. I don't know who that is. I don't know any Elons.
Oh my God. It's so good, isn't it? So clever.
Good. So that made me laugh last night. I'm not going to play the other Trump one until the end because it will send Nadia into a tailspin of fury. So we'll save that. Weight loss drugs is cheating. Tell us about weight loss drugs. So what are weight loss drugs? Ogilvy? I keep hearing Ogilvy and BBB.
Let's start with the fact that they are drugs for diabetes.
Well,
and
I know that most people in our community, most people here, a lot of people here have been up in arms from the first days of these, saying they can't get these drugs for their diabetes, but people are able to get them for weight loss.
I think you can now. I think there was a bit of a
but there was a moment,
wasn't there?
Yeah.
But they're actually, as you say, for diabetes, aren't they? Though I think Wegovy is the one that has been approved for obesity, obesity.
Right.
So I think, and we've been on a real journey with this, with the whole thing with Ozempic, haven't we? Over the last year, we've had lots of different discussions about it. One day I feel this way about it, the other day, next day I feel that way about it. And first of all, obesity is very bad for your health. There's no two ways about that. You can risk strokes, heart disease, diabetes. And of course, diabetes is a very insidious disease. I mean, my dad has diabetes and it affects so many different things. Also living with obesity in a world and the way that it is also very difficult. And if you're bringing up kids, for instance, it's very tough. It's just like, and a lot of people are desperately unhappy with being obese. Some people are okay living with obesity, and that's fine. But there's no doubt about it. It's bad for your health, and lots of and nothing drives me crazy like, well, just eat less and move more, because it's just not that way for many, many people. So I think there's a real place for this, because having seen what diabetes is like and living with it, it's very, very tough. And if you can take somebody who is, showing the sign, moving very fast towards diabetes type 2, and you can halt that by somebody losing a lot of weight very fast. Oh God, what's the lovely doctor's name who died in Greece? How can I've forgotten his name? He brought out that fantastic book. A lot of people had a go at him for the 800 calories to lose weight very fast, but it does arrest the sort of, that trajectory to diabetes, type 2 diabetes. So I'm not against it. I'm not against it, but I do think that we do need strict rules around it, because 100%, if you are somebody that suffers with eating disorders, you're going to be tempted with this. You are. And if it's too easy to get it, like you're a normal weight. I know somebody who's a normal weight that wanted to go back to being the weight that she was when she was 18, and she got it. So if you're not carrying any extra weight, and you've tried really hard with all the different ways, I don't have a problem with it.
Right. I mean, the reason, basically, the story around this is that new controls have been brought in, i.e. it's going to be made more difficult to just order it over the internet. There's going to have to be some kind of consultation with a medical specialist doctor of some form, some kind of surgery kind of meeting, if you like, even if you're buying it from an online store and not going through your doctor. The reason being that, as Nadia just said, people with eating disorders are increasingly turning to it. And I think personally that given that we're in the foothills of this, not technology, but this medicine, as you've always said, and I think it's a great line, everyone taking it now are the kind of guinea pigs. It's a bit like vaccines. It's like, we don't know. We don't have a history of knowledge on this.
Nobody's taken it long term.
Yeah, we haven't taken it long term. We don't know what the long-term effects are. I can easily potentially hear in 30, 40 years time, someone saying, God, do you remember the Ozempic scandal? Do you know what I mean? It was sold easily. It was given easily. People were taking it easily. And God forbid there's some kind of strange thing that happens further down the way. I do sometimes get really worried about this. Now, I've put the word, should we just lead on? If I could take weight loss drugs, I would. I struggle with weight because of my bloody heart condition. It's hard to lose weight and I'm overweight.
So now you see, that is, so, that's a medical reason. It's going, I mean, I'm surprised they haven't, I don't know whether they do it with heart disease. Maybe can't take it, got heart disease. But that would be a perfect example, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think the word cheating has triggered a few people in the chat. That's why I'm trying to kind of work my way back up to the title, because, and in a weird way, Zoe Agnew speaks to what I'm talking about when I put the word cheating. Zoe Agnew talks about how all the housewives, that's as in Real Housewives, the Hollywood, the extraordinarily rich, women who go for tweakments and women who kind of have plastic surgery and who aren't unhealthy and yet are using weight loss drugs. So when I put weight loss drugs is cheating, I'm being kind of, that's part of my sort of malevolent.
Well, don't walk yourself down now. Say what you said.
What I said was, so I don't think it's cheating, of course, when and if you have a medical condition, a medical issue, you've been fighting a sort of medical aspect of obesity, etc. Where I think it's cheating, and I think you're only cheating yourself. And when I say cheating yourself, I mean with all the same caveats that dry January is a bit of a cheat. If you've got a problem and the problem is mental, emotional, spiritual, no amount of taking weight loss drugs is going to solve or resolve the mentals. It might make you look skinnier, But actually, you are cheating. You're cheating yourself. You haven't taken any of the lifestyle choices. You haven't gone to any, and this isn't about people with medical conditions. I'm talking about lifestyle use of weight loss drugs. I'm not talking about, it's a good example. And I think it is cheating. I think it's kind of like, it speaks to a culture where you can just inject yourself to do all the, and it bypasses doing all of the making all of the lifestyle choices. But actually, unless you make those lifestyle choices, you won't feel better about yourself anyway.
Well, no. Now, what I don't like about what you're saying is that in some way, weight loss, if you've really suffered and you've really gone through something, is worth something. And I don't think that's the case.
No,
now, what I would agree with is that just taking the weight loss injection won't work, because eventually you're going to come off it. So you've got to have changed your habits. And many people do. And they, you have to increase your protein. There was a real problem with people not eating enough. So lots of people are doing the exercise and eating well as well. So some people are just using it just as a way to not eat, and they're not exercising, and that's bad. But I just want to, it's just this idea, and I can't quite get a hold of what you're saying, is that we are supposed to suffer to lose weight.
No, I just think
that you're cheating yourself.
No, I don't think you're supposed to suffer, but I think you're supposed to make some step of effort.
But most people, Mark, that are obese have gone through
obesity. I'm not talking about obesity.
No, but somebody that's overweight.
No, I'm not talking about people who are sort of medically struggling.
No, I know you're not.
I'm not talking about laziness. I'm not talking about any of that.
I'm not talking about that.
Right.
I'm not talking about that.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the fact that most people that struggle with their weight have battles with it for years.
Yeah.
They've gone on every bloody diet under the sun. They've spent a fortune on slimming clubs.
Yeah.
They've tried everything. They've tried starving. They've tried just eating protein. They've tried everything.
Yeah.
And then somebody might still turn around to them and say, well, you've not done it yourself. You've cheated. I think that idea to me is not right and not fair.
I wouldn't stand there and say to someone, you've cheated, but I would, if someone came to me and they couldn't be bothered to go to the gym, they didn't have a medical issue, they weren't struggling with their health, and they were just unwilling to make any effort to I am going to say it.
Yeah.
I think you are cheating. I think if you can't be bothered to do anything for your exercise or for yourself, but you just want an injection to sort it out, an injection that's actually really necessary for vast swathes and number of people who are struggling under medical conditions with their weight, I think it's bloody lazy. And I think it's a cheat. And I think Reese makes an interesting point that many people who do go to the great lengths, and it's not like, I don't even think one should be hunting for thinness. Zoe made a really interesting point that many body positive people, here we go, look, Zoe says it here, that I think the body positive movement's got very toxic. Many people I follow who embraced weight are now using it. I think we've got really confused signals out there now.
But I would also say people that have embraced being overweight, many of them have had to get to a place where they say, yeah, I love it. But deep down, most people that I talk to that say that, deep down, they don't like being overweight. So I think there has to be forgiveness in that.
So we have to move away from body positivity, because body positivity...
No, we don't. No, we don't. It's like we can have lots of different people that have lots of different ideas.
I disagree, because the more people that are taking this and the more people that in my book are cheating, who don't need to take it, the more the pressure there is on everyone, because you see more and more people popping up looking unnaturally thin. Reese made a really interesting point about people who do it through exercise, hard work, whatever, then being told, oh, you must have done Ozempic. You haven't even done Ozempic.
Well, I've been accused of doing Ozempic. But I've been accused of doing, and it's funny that it really upset me. It's because I haven't. Then I thought, why does it really upset me? And I haven't. But if I had, why would it upset me if somebody said it? See, the thing is, Mark, I also agree that people that are already like Hollywood, when people are just doing, they're absolutely thin anyway, and they're just disappearing up there. But yes, what is that? But it's the cheating. I want to talk about not the obese person that's doing it for medical reasons, not the person that's skinny and doesn't need it, the person that has carried 2 or 3 stone, all through their adult life, and just tired and weary of the constant battle and the constant need to check themselves, and always the unhappiness with their body, not quite taking their stuff off in the summer, not quite being open enough with their partners because they don't want their body to be seen. I'm talking about that weary decades.
That's
that
everyone.
people can have. It's not everyone.
That's the vast majority of people. So what you're actually saying there, which I understand what you're saying, and I can hear it, because I have the same issues with parts of my body.
No, but I want to ask you, is that cheating? If that person, so, you know, if I were to say to you, Mark, these 3 stone that I've carried all my life, I am so weary. You'll have seen me do all the diets. You'll have seen me do all the exercise. But why cheating?
I don't know, because I feel like just today, I just think...
Because that's the world we're in. It's something we're supposed to achieve. It's something that we work hard for. It's something we're supposed to be proud of. It's something you're supposed to champion. I lost weight and here I am and I look fantastic.
But I think the problem with people is that, again, the caveat is still standing. We're talking about people kind of lifestyle choosing who are kind of got a bit of kind of, you know, what's it called? Sort of stubborn fat, stubborn layers, feel a bit frustrated that they can't get rid of it. Have you really? And I ask the same thing of myself. Have I really done Joe Wicks fully without eating a pot of Nutella every now and then? Of course I fucking haven't.
But we have to. Of course I haven't. We have to understand.
And a weight loss drug isn't going to resolve the mentals around me eating the tub of Nutella. But also the weight loss drug, I know. Here's the thing. It's not about naming and shaming people. I'm not interested in that. If I took the weight loss drug to remove that thing, I would feel like I cheated myself. I literally would be like, oh, I couldn't do it.
I suppose that's just a very different way that we think. If I were to take it, I wouldn't take it because it really scares me, the idea of it. Why wouldn't you take it? But I tell you what, if this had been available before I had the kids, I would have been first in the queue. I would have been so susceptible to it because I was so warped with my way of thinking, and now I always wanted to be.
Melanie Brown, please do the research before talking about this. In terms of research, whose research? We're just having a gutty, emotional conversation about it. I don't sit here professing to know all the details of the drugs. I know what I'm saying is potentially deeply sort of incorrect, but I'm being honest.
No, it's just, but also it's how a lot of people feel about it.
Yeah.
Now, I listened to an absolutely heartbreaking interview with a woman. Oh my God, it's so changed her life, because it's all very well to say, just stop eating the Nutella and but it's so difficult. It's so difficult to do that. And a lot of people that have used Ozempic and then come off it have followed all the rules about the, looking at the way that they eat, changing their, and just addressing that binge eating. Because I think what's really hard is when you're really overweight, it's really, really hard to get the motivation. But if something helps you lose the first bit, and then you go, God, actually, I feel like you, when you start to lose weight, you always feel so motivated to then keep going on. That's why I think sometimes a fast at the beginning of a diet just gives people that that little kick, that belief that they can do it. So I'm not against it, but I am really worried about people that are already thin getting it.
That's my point. The internet. So, for example, Patsy68, I've lost 5 stone as I had to take Ozempic for type 2, and it's given me my life back. Fantastic. I just think that's wondrous. I think that's wonderful. We are allowed to have a discussion. It's a great topic to discuss. Thanks, Zoe. Billy Talon, this is a good point. It's the same reason we class steroids as cheating, Mark. I'm with you on this. I think that's where I'm coming from. We wouldn't. Yeah, but no one would actively suggest that because steroids make you look better. It's a good point, steroids.
Right, but Mark,
hang on.
You more than anyone knows the incredibly difficult psychological thing around losing weight.
Which is precisely why an injection is not the solution.
No, an injection alongside, I agree, just an injection without anything else, but alongside looking at the fact and understanding that food is an addiction. You were in rehab, you had the same people in you had people in the same group as the alcoholics, as the people that were using food to comfort
them.
I
think that point Billy Talon makes, and there are a number of people who kind of agree, the idea that steroids give you potentially a body that gives you all the body confidence in the world. but they're also something that are deeply questionable in terms of their health impact, the effects they have on your mental health. We have not, not for a minute do I think it's not necessary or brilliant or suitable for the vast majority of people who need it for medical reasons.
know,
But I'm saying it because it keeps coming up. Lifestyle choices, people who do it for lifestyle choices, like tweakments. I'm talking about people who go in for a little bit of Botox and a little bit of lipo and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. They then start having this. I just think you've cheated. It's a cheat. You just need to get down the gym and work out more if it's that important.
Oh, I hate that line so much. Just get down the gym and work out.
For those people who have got so much money they don't know what to do with it, just make different choices in your life.
But Mark, it's too easy to just say those people. You are also talking about the everyday person. It's easy to say that about Hollywood stars. You are also saying about the everyday person. You are saying it's cheap, and that's the interesting discussion.
If I took it,
that's
I would feel
what you're
cheat.
saying.
So
that's the interesting
Why is that
discussion.
wrong? If I took it, I would feel a cheat. Why is that
if
wrong?
If you took it and you felt a cheat, because you are so competitive with yourself, everything has to be done so perfectly. But who's feeding you this idea? Who's feeding you this idea? Why is the industry so massive? You know, slimming clubs will have people join 3 or 4 times a year, pay over and over, knowing damn well that people are going to be back because they're not going to be able to lose that weight and maintain it.
Okay, put aside the gym, do a bunch of press-ups, have a workout routine. When
you're overweight, the last thing you feel you can do, like even
what
now,
you're saying is advocacy for everyone to take it.
No, I am not.
Why not? So why would you not?
No, what I'm saying, because I think that it's still a drug. I think that it's the fact that a lot of people that are getting it are just getting it online without any support and don't really know about exercise and don't know about good food. That's what worries me. But alongside all those, which is how when it's done properly, I think there's a place for it.
So what would you say to someone, the person I would say is cheating themselves if they're not using it for a medical reason, but they just want to kind of, why would you advocate not to do it to people?
I would never say to somebody not to do it if it's their choice, but I would understand how they got to that point, because I struggled so much with overeating and dieting my way to obesity. I'd go on a diet, then I would lose weight, I'd come off that diet, I'd put on more weight. And it was just like this. It was just going like this the whole time.
Is it not another way for Big Pharma just to sell more stuff at us?
Absolutely, it is.
I just think there are so many aspects to it. Look, I'm being purposefully sort of, you know, I'm sticking to my guns on this because I sometimes think we just sit here and agree with each other. And I'm not going to budge from the fact that I think it's something that's been introduced into the equation that only 3 years ago, we didn't even know existed. And until it existed, we would have to interrogate other ways of trying to sort this stuff out.
And yet obesity rates climb and climb and climb and climb.
So do you think it's a good idea that potentially the NHS, which they were talking about, should use this injection, these weight loss drugs, as in a sense, inject everyone in the population to keep everyone's weight down?
Of course not. That'd be ridiculous.
Why?
Because A, the cost, B, we don't want Big Pharma just owning every single person's body. What I want is more understanding around how difficult it is to lose weight, more understanding. Like I used to go to Overeaters Anonymous, and it was a really helpful thing, understanding my connection to food and eating, also finding out about ADHD and my compulsive behavior. So we need to investigate it more and not just say to people, just eat less and exercise more. It's so bloody easy just to say that and swipe people away. If it was that easy, we would not have an obesity crisis in this country.
Okay, well, let's read some of your comments out. This has got quite tense. I don't think it's cheating, Carol Moore. If I knew for definite it was safe, I would take it. I've lost 3.5 stone since October
well done.
Through health, but no, it will be a struggle to stay off because I can't exercise. Totally understand. Totally. I mean, a number of people saying it's hard to when it's hard to exercise.
Do you know what?
It's a great choice.
Do you know what though? You cannot exercise will not balance out you eating too much.
No, you always say that.
And in fact, a friend of mine's friend, it was really interesting. All her life, she had tried to lose weight, eating less, diets, exercise, and she just could never really shift this weight. Anyway, she broke her leg really badly, And she was like, for 3 months, she was out and she was really, really frightened. She thought, my God, how much fatter am I going to get? So she went on and she stuck to a really good, healthy diet. Guess what? She lost the weight that she'd been trying to lose for years,
right?
With no
That's
exercise.
That's interesting.
Food is the main thing.
See, I would class an inability to exercise as one of in a category of people for whom this would be the right choice. So if anyone saying, well, I can't exercise or my physical symptoms don't allow me to, I would argue that is an absolute case in point where it's not just a lifestyle choice. I just want to read Elsa Pop. It's not cheating. You still have to make lifestyle changes. You can't just take the drug and carry on eating as you were. It curbs your appetite. It should only be for clinically obese people.
And Elsa Pop, that is everything you say there. This is what we hope the new restrictions will bring in.
Yeah.
Because at the moment it is the Wild West, and people are getting. And I don't like it when people go online just saying, "Oh, it's a great new weight loss drug."
That's my point.
I think that's wrong.
That's what
because
I find. That's what gets my back up.
Because I feel that people with eating disorders are so vulnerable to that. It's really quite scary, actually.
Sally Webb, Farmer have got a new golden ticket to make millions from desperate people.
Yeah.
And look, listen, the point that I'm trying to make is, as a recovering alcoholic, and most alcoholics end up, or addicts, have some issue, have food issues.
Food issues.
Everything around, again, part to the side, everything around food issues, even if you don't have an overt diagnosed medical condition, is psychological. And I really worry that this idea of a golden ticket injection will only disappoint because it won't sort out the psychological stuff.
Oh, hang on, Billy Talon.
Yeah, you just
You're
had
saying
it.
something. Oh,
Mark, we could also use TRT as an example. Men who don't need it are using it not for what it was meant for. Is this testosterone? They're using it as a safe steroid, not because their body isn't producing it.
Oh, God. And then there's all those poor women out there that need testosterone and the doctors won't give it to them. Quite
a few mums at my school gate are suddenly very thin, unhealthy looking. I think it's obvious why. Desperate people, says Michu, desperate people make for good guinea pigs for pharma when they have a new product. Exercise isn't the answer, says Liz. No, and I think that's an important point. It's not just about exercise. I mean, I've had years, and when you go on our channel, it's interesting because I'm always editing how we all look all the time. And I sort of think, whenever I was editing something from a year and a half ago, and I was thinking, God, I look so thin. And I was thinking it was food. The workouts haven't changed.
They will.
It's the food
consumption. You can't out-train a bad diet. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I mean, both times I did the marathon, I put on weight. I was running all the bloody time, but that's because I kept eating pizza because I thought I could.
We're not talking about how insulin resistance affects weight loss, though. For some people, eating healthily and exercising just isn't enough. I still don't think the jabs are safe, though. Yeah, I think it's good to have a conversation. Yeah,
absolutely.
Good. All right. Just moving on. What was the other topic? God almighty, we're at 37 minutes. We haven't done Baldoni, Lively, or Hollywood Vampires. What do you want to do?
It's just a quick one, the Hollywood Vampires, isn't it? So let's do that and then do Baldoni.
Okay, Hollywood Vampires. This is the story. This is the headline. Hollywood Vampires, new documentary reveals shocking practices of the ultra-rich to stay young. And then there's a piece about this chap. We've seen him before, this guy, haven't we? I've got the article here on Apple News. This guy, what's his name? I forget his name.
He is Brian Johnson, and he's the one
who looks unwell. If I'm honest.
Well, this is a new documentary all about how the ultra rich stay young, and
I wish I could do that.
Yeah. Oh, look at him there.
Yeah.
So the series follows him. It's quite interesting, actually, that he also sells a whole load of supplements, etc.
Everyone, yeah.
Right. So the most controversial part of the series comes when he discusses replacing the plasma in his blood with that of a younger person. So he claims to have undergone a total plasma exchange to remove unnatural pollutants from his blood, and which ultimately will reverse his biological age. And he's shown using his 17-year-old son, Talmage, to do that, who donates his plasma to his father.
I'm going to use a controversial word about this guy.
What?
He's cheating. I think he's desperate. He's using his son's blood as a flush out.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
Can I just say, I have known for years. Years ago, I did a film with a intense enduro cycling outfit, the RAF, when they cycled across America. And I was flabbergasted, but there's a long tradition in cycling and in sport, extreme endurance sport, of athletes having complete blood transfusion.
Well, he's saying here it wasn't the first. He wasn't the first guy to do it. This has been going for years.
And so I was standing talking to this cyclist in the RAF, and I was like saying, and he'd done it. And I said, so basically, I mean, of course, our blood is forever changing. We aren't ourselves every 7 years. Our cells completely recreate. It's a completely new us. But there is something bizarre about thinking, oh my God, you've had your entire blood taken out.
Incredible.
But don't they wash your blood? I've heard of this in Hollywood. They take your blood out and you watch your blood go around a machine, and it's given a sort of linens wash, and then it's passed through a
when
dryer.
it goes back into your face for the facelift.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, like, to actually ask your child for their blood.
That's weird. But is it not like giving someone a kidney?
Well, no, again, because this is just. I mean, can you imagine it in a million years? Just saying, can I just have I want your nice clean blood for my old blood.
Oh, so
nuts.
it's interesting because the idea of taking your blood out, washing it, processing it, making it healthier, and putting it back in you for a zing.
Blood.
But what he's doing basically is quite vampiric. He's feeding off the freshness of his son's blood. Good chip lollipop. I'd give mine to my mum, no problem. I think I'd give mine to my mum too. I think I'd be all right with that. It depends how they'd ask me.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking about it. It's like we're going, oh God, but actually, I bet if we said, because our kids are always saying, oh, you're old and we don't want you to die. If we said, oh, we could live a bit longer actually if you give us your blood,
I don't know if Maggie
would we do it?
She fell apart with a staple in her. Nanny Di, Mum,
I love those crazy
Mum,
stories.
Nanny Di, I'm seeing you later. Would you like my blood, Mum? You like Solpadeine, would you like my blood?
Like right now, if my mum and dad could feel a bit better, I would give them my blood.
I'd give them my blood.
I suppose it's because this guy is only 17, it seems very...
Yeah, but you see, it's all relative.
Our blood's probably no good.
No, but to your parents, we're young, fresh and spring chicken.
Yeah.
It makes us feel good.
Watch your veins, guys.
It makes us feel good about ourselves. Would it be terrible, though, if you woke up, you go over to visit your mum. Imagine him as a son. He goes over to visit his dad. He wakes up in the morning. He's like, oh, Dad, I feel a bit groggy. And he looks down and there's just injection marks in his arm. Yeah. His dad's drained him.
Oh, my God, Edward Bevington, that's so funny. Hollywood is so draining.
Very good. Okay, finally, let's talk about Baldoni and Blake Lively, if you don't know who they are.
Yeah, just before that, guys, I don't know if you've all seen the announcement of the new tier in our members area, where Dina and I are going to be doing a live cook along every month, plus uploading an extra little film once a week. So we've put up the poll for you to choose between the two dishes. So because, I mean, usually you'll have longer with the poll, but because the first cook along is this Friday at 1 o'clock today, that it will be decided. So if you haven't yet voted, vote. And if you haven't watched the announcements about it,
do you want me to tell you what the hot favourite is at the moment?
What?
Beef stroganoff racing out in front at the moment. So
it's going to be so delicious.
Yeah. Anyway, that's over on what used to be called the community tab. It's now just called the posts, like where you post stuff. So it's on go to the main channel.
Have a look and then go and vote on.
But you have to be a family friend, unfortunately, to see.
Yeah.
Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni. This is the court case. They had their first moment in court yesterday where Blake Lively's team tried to throw it all out. Baldoni's team, it all got a bit argy-bargy. None of these stars were there. None of them were present. And the court case is scheduled to start in March, can you believe it, 2026. But the judge said this yesterday, which is interesting. The judge said, if you guys are going to continue to try and do this in the public realm, we will, what's it called when they say we will bring something forward? We will
bring something forward.
The Americans use that wonderful word where they say, would not accelerate, but they'll fast track it basically forward. But anyway, in the process.
But that's what we want, because at the moment it's not till next year, the trial.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But he's saying the judge said, if you keep doing this in public, we have no choice but to bring it forward. But
so you couldn't do that here, could you? Because you couldn't put it out there before it would be null and void then in court, wouldn't it?
Mo Power, is this all positive or negative publicity for the film? I think it's only ever positive, because all of this before it got this contentious, it's what made me go and see the film. So anyway, but in the process, a number of WhatsApps have landed that were sent between Blake Lively, the star of the film, and Justin Baldoni, who was her co-star, but also was the director. And I think people are losing track of this fact that Baldoni was the director, but he was also her co-star and her love interest in the film. And it's just intriguing. It's less. We're not going to go through these exhaustively, but when you read the messages, not only does it speak to, and of course, things could have easily changed, and we don't know in what way. Expedite. Thank you so much, Maribel Perez. That's the word. Americans love that. We'll expedite you. Yeah, expedite. It's a great word. Obviously, we don't know. These clearly all happened at a point where they were all getting on and talking nicely between themselves. But not only were they talking nicely, I think the reason Baldoni's team have released these is that they're not only talking nicely. This is the manifestation of meaningful warmth, I would say. But anyway, in amongst all of this, there was one exchange between Justin Baldoni and Ryan Reynolds. And this was the point that you kind of homed in on, wasn't it? Where he says, Justin Baldoni said to Ryan Reynolds, who's married to Blake Lively, "Hi, Ryan, Justin here, the guy who brought his literal baggage to his meeting with your wife. I asked Blake for your number. Emily and I have a very small circle. We've known all our closest friends for years, and I don't really have any close female friends that my wife isn't also friends with, let alone married ones. So I guess this is just an awkward text to say, I'd like to be friends." This broke my heart a little bit.
And he says, "I'm glad there's no check yes or no box."
Yes. And then Ryan Reynolds sent one back, but you could say very show busy, given where they're at now. What a loving and generous message. Thank you. We're both looking forward to getting to know you, etc. You've been a wonderful collaborator. And you've been just, thank you. I happen to adore you.
I do love the sorry for the delay. So how long did he leave Justin Baldoni hanging?
Well, we know exactly 11 days. There you go. 28, 11 days. So a couple of things that come out of that. There's the showbiz of just mwah, and everyone's fucking loving each other and all that. I've read all of these messages, and I think it's a really respectful, boundaried set of messages from a director/star who knows, and I think this is getting lost in the story, knows that he's kind of engaging with a woman and thereby a couple that are a power couple in Hollywood. Possibly, given Deadpool's success, Ryan Reynolds, don't shy away from this, is one of the most powerful men in Hollywood at the moment, because only his films are working for Marvel. And so I found Justin Baldoni, I found it a bit sweet and a bit, not sad, but I kind of felt a bit sorry for him. And I just can't work out what on earth could have gone wrong or changed. And, that's what makes the story so compelling. Lots of people are very much on her side, lots of people are very much on his side. But the part of it that you texted me when I was on the way back, and I pulled over to check my text, because I don't ever look at my phone when I'm driving. I don't know, actually, otherwise you get done. Was the idea that men don't have friends other than their friends of their men.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting, that line. I don't have friends unless my wife is friends with them, female friends.
Yes.
And we did this on Loose Women the other day. Can you ever have a straight male friend?
That's a different
And the
way,
majority of the women said it always turns out that they are attracted to you.
But that's the When Harry Met Sally idea.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about, I thought what was slightly more interesting was I agree with this idea that a lot of men do end up socially leaning on their wives' social circles.
I don't think he was saying that.
No, I think he was.
No, he wasn't. He was saying, I'm not going to make friends with her without making friends with you.
I don't really have any close female friends that my wife isn't also friends with, let alone married ones.
Yeah.
So
I don't make friends with women unless my wife is friends with them too. He's not saying any friends, he's saying any female friends.
Thought what he was saying was most of his friendship circle comes through his wife. No. I think a lot of men do that. Sorry, that's what I thought.
No, I was saying his female friends. He wouldn't bring a new female friend. Their circle of friends is small, and he wouldn't bring a new female friend into it without them also being friends with his wife.
Right.
So let's the four of us be friends rather than just.
Yes. Have I brought a female friend ever to you that wasn't? Not really.
I wouldn't have a problem at all if you did. I wouldn't. Why? Because I trust you. I do trust you.
Yeah.
So I think, but I was surprised by how practically nobody agreed with that. I mean, everyone said no. I do think there is often an attraction, but does that mean one should never mix with anyone that might be attracted to you or might be? There's loads of people that are attracted to you. Would I want you to not be around any other people?
No. I mean, I suppose that there's a huge difference between working with someone, and everyone has worked with straight, people that could be theoretically straight and single and blah. But I mean, and in terms of a friendship, I agree. I don't think I would. I'm not interested in a friendship with. Am I interested? No. I mean, all of my close friends are women.
Of course, you love women. If I was to say to you, I don't want you to have any female friends, that would be just awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want any straight male friends because I don't get on very well with straight men.
No,
I don't. I like gay men and I like women.
Okay. What are you doing
To
with
be
me,
highly
then?
unlikely that I would ever.
Isn't it weird that you fancy straight men?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? But I wouldn't. Yeah.
If it were Angelina Jolie, me too.
I think it's because I had a very just female upbringing. I went to all female school. I went, we're all sisters. We're a very female based family. So I was never that comfortable. And my dad is so unusual. I mean, I had a lovely relationship with my dad. I still do, always have. Had great conversations with him, but not the kind of conversation that you would move over in, not like the way you are with the girls, I think has made them able to be very good. They both have lots of male friends and they're really good with that. And some of them had to work through that. Some of them have ended up fancying and they've worked through that.
Yeah, the girls very much can have male friendships without there being any romance.
But I think that's because of the way that you are with them. They know how to josh with men. They know how to talk.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not very good at talking to straight men.
Yeah.
I never have been.
Here we go. Look, Reese, thank you for this. Men not having healthy female friendships contributes to the illness regarding toxicity of men that plague society.
Yeah.
I have many healthy female friendships as a heterosexual guy and love it. Good on you.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a failing in me. It's not a failing in men. That's what I would say. I just find it difficult.
Laugh out loud. Gay men and women, me too, Mark being an exception. Thank you very much. Thank you. Guys, what an interesting conversation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there any house stuff that we need to? I'm not going to play you the Trump thing because it's going to drive you mad. Do you want to be driven mad right at the end?
Is it about Gaza?
Do you want to be driven
mad? Is it about Gaza?
It's not about Gaza specifically, but it's kind of indirectly about Gaza.
No.
Okay.
All right. Not well enough.
All right.
Just don't forget the poll. Go and make your vote clear.
If you're a family friend.
Mark can put the link for the announcement up under here actually, if anyone wants to listen to it. Can you?
The link to the announcement.
Yeah,
what
so
do you
people
mean?
have the announcement of all about what happened.
Yeah. I could do
just
that.
Just in case nobody's seen
Christopher Condell's just gifted 50 memberships.
Oh,
bloody hell, Chris.
Oh, thank you.
Bless
sweetheart.
you. Bless you. I sent you a message yesterday, by the way, Chris. Wouldn't it be awkward going out for a drink or lunch or a walk on the beach? I don't think I could out of respect for my husband. What with a male friend? I know what you mean. It's that doing anything vaguely in public becomes quite problematic.
But isn't that a messed up society?
Maybe.
That everything has to ultimately be about sex. That you couldn't go for a walk with somebody. You see, because I think the problem is people want to be everything for their partner. And that's ridiculous. So say if Mark came back and said, oh, I've met this amazing woman and she knows all about this, because Mark knows a lot about a lot of stuff that I don't or don't even want to. And then I would say, well, I don't want you to be friends with them because I want to provide everything for you. I think it's very egotistical.
You relished that moment where you said, and I don't want to, didn't you? And I don't want to.
Well, there's some stuff I just don't want to. Stuff that you're really interested in, the stuff you're really interested in, I'm not. Like some of the stuff I'm interested in, you're not. And so to cut out other people that could bring that to you seems unfair.
Big love to Christopher Condell. That's very generous.
Kristen.
And I promise it's final comment. Farida R. My husband only has close female friends for some reason. I've naturally been their friend too. I agree with Nads though. I couldn't be close to a straight guy without knowing his wife.
Exactly.
Interesting. Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go.
And even then, it's difficult, isn't it?
All right, guys. Have a lovely day. Go and check out lots of other stuff all over the channel. There's just stuff everywhere, just splatting everywhere, all over the place. See you tomorrow.